advert on Facebook the other day for Visit Dorset in England, and they were boasting about the 18 hill forts that there are, Iron Age hill forts in Dorset. 18, wow, that's a huge number of hill forts. But it got me thinking, how many hill forts are there in Scottish borders? The answer to how many hill forts there are in the Scottish borders is quite staggering. 408. 408. So I'm going to see how many of those 408 hill forts I can visit today, and I'm starting with one here that I've never been to before, and it's known as Dreva Craig, and apparently it's quite spectacular. Don't know if these big long boulders are natural or if they've been chipped away and quarried by man. Don't look like your sort of standard glacial deposits, although there is a lot of rocks on here. But apparently there are rocks in the outskirts of this fort which have been placed there strategically to deter horse attacks. I didn't really quite know what to expect at this hill fort at Dreva Craig, but I'm blown away, to be honest, by the amount of stone and what seems like structures that still remain here. It's completely, I would say almost unique in the area, and it's a very interesting, mind-blowing in fact. I don't know what the hell is going on here in some places. Obviously some of these constructions might have been more modern agriculture or whatever, but there's certainly a hell of a lot of stone here that's probably from the Iron Age hill fort. Remember, if you don't like this hill fort, we do have another 406. That's 406 for you to look at, so I'm sure you'll find one that you'll like. You can see the whole site extending right down this hillside. I think it was some sort of large settlement around the perimeter of the actual fort there. By the looks of things, multiple layers of stone defences around the top of this wee hill. The outlook is fantastic. You can see for miles in all directions. This castle in Drumelia over there, they brought in there, and right down the Tweed Valley. Layers of walls and defences up there on that hill, and just absolutely fantastic. It reminds me of the big fort down on Hadrian's Wall. What's it called again? Housestead's Fort. It feels like you're looking up at that. These sharp pointed stones are all around the perimeter of the fort, and apparently they are not natural, they are by design. And the reason for that design is to stop attack by men on horseback or on chariots. You see them? Pretty formidable defence, I would say. This video that I'm making, this little video that I'm making, I'm just making it on my phone, but this little video that I'm making today is kind of like Sesame Street because it's brought to you by a number, and today's number is 408, because that's how many hill forts we have in the Scottish borders. If you haven't heard me saying that already about 20 times, 408. So I've got this one here, just over the valley there is Tinnis Castle, which was probably a hill fort before they built the castle too. Every one of these hills almost had hill forts on them, apart from perhaps the really, really high ones, which were just a bit too cold and windy and out of the way for amenities like water. Now, not only is 408 the highest concentration of hill forts in the UK, it's also the highest concentration of hill forts in all of Europe. Now, a lot of people, the negative people, will say, well, that's because you've got the highest concentration of hills. You know, you can't build hill forts in Dorset where there are no hills, which is true. But there are other areas in Europe with plenty of hills. Wales, the Highlands, the Lake District, the Pennines, hundreds of areas in Britain alone, you know, and you've got Europe, I don't even know what they're called, but there are plenty of hills in Europe, believe me. We have the highest concentration of hill forts in this area. Why? Because I believe it was the highest concentration of population, and it was the highest concentration of conflict, the biggest confluence of peoples in all of Europe. A place where people met and collided from all different cultures and all different backgrounds and all different places. This, for whatever reason, the change in climate, the change in geography, the rivers, I don't know, this became a colliding point, and that's why people lived on the top of hills, away from the shelter of the valleys. They lived on the top of hills because it was safer, because war was never far away. Even before the Border Reivers and the Wars of Independence, way back at the beginning of the first millennium in BC, this was still a place of war.